Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakah Kadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of great most on it rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of searing truth. Um, yeah, this article kind of going into a few little aspects of basically the World War Three and how this thing's really you know to those that paying attention, they're looking into these things. It's clear, we're already in the midst. And you had like a few weeks back, there was like cyber attacks in the UK on you know, certain government officials, I believe it was, by China. And cyber attacks is has been a big aspect of, you know, warfare that's gone forward. You had remember a couple of years back in I believe it was during the pandemic where there was certain what was it, a fuel provider, what was it, they were ransomed, not yeah, one of the petrol station, I believe it was like a petrol station in the US, where they got ransomed for like their software uh ransomware threat. So these things and the thing is as well is they said it was a Russian group behind it. It might be like a so-called independent group, but they'll be utilized by the government to do these things. Same thing with in the West and all other parts of the world where they'll kind of guys will get caught and then they'll get sent out to kind of you know be turned against their enemies kind of thing. So it says what this is on Reason.com. It says World War III may already have started in the shadows. Cyber intrusions, arson, bombings, and other mayhem feature in the conflict between West and East. Britain's signal Britain's signals intelligence spy chief raised eyebrows this week with warnings that Russia is coordinating with cyber attacks and physical acts of sabotage against the West. There's evidence to back her claims. The West may be returning the favor. Coming soon after FBI Director Christopher Wray warned that China is targeting American infrastructure, it looked like the world is not only fracturing once again, but the hostile blocs are engaging in covert warfare. We are increasingly concerned about growing links between Russian intelligence services and proxy groups to conduct cyber attacks, as well as suspected physical surveillance and sabotage operations. Government Communications Headquarters Director Anne Keast Butler told an audience at the UK government-sponsored Cyber UK 2024 conference. Yeah, so using proxy groups. So that's kind of been known, and that's just how these cyber attacks. That's how warfare's gone. That's just how warfare's gone. Um, that's just how warfare's gone. In the so-called modern age. He said before Russia simply created the right environments for these groups to operate, but now they are nurturing and inspiring these non-state cyber actors, in some cases seemingly coordinating physical attacks against the West. Keith Butler, whose agency is comparable to the NSA, also called out China, Iran, and North Korea's cybersecurity dangers, but naming Russian officials as being behind physical attacks raises the stakes. Sadly, her claims are well founded. Sabotage, espionage, and other mischief. A 20-year-old British man has been charged with masterminding an arson plot against a Ukrainian-linked target in London for the benefit of the Russian state. CBS News reported last month that wasn't an isolated incident. In April alone, a clutch of alleged pro-Russian saboteurs were detained across the continent. The Economist noted May 12th in describing what is called a shadow war between East and West. Germany arrested two German Russian dual nationals on suspicion of plotting attacks on American military facilities. Another target on behalf of the GRU, or the GRU, Russia's military intelligence agency. Poland arrested a man who was preparing to pass the GRU information on Rzeszów airport, the most important hub for military aid to Ukraine. Britain charged several men over an earlier arson attack in March on a Ukrainian-owned logistics firm in London, whose Spanish depot was also targeted. So yeah, there's clear kind of signs of what's going down, like we're in the midst, but it's those initial blows, it's the early rounds, man, where they're kind of feeling each other out, and it's only it's only gone through. And the thing is as well, when you go back to the Cold War, the bulk of it happened through proxies. When it comes to now, now it's gonna be proxies, but also way more direct, because why? You've got already Russians drawn into the Ukraine conflict, and America has troops in these various locations, but obviously there'll be like intelligence officers, there'll be undercover or whatnot, or claiming to not be directly affiliated. But that's the thing, is you've had those skirmishes before. What was it in Syria? They were saying they're sending soldiers in to train resistance fighters or whatever, which is the thing they say. But then those guys could be running their own operations, they could be doing things, and then a bunch of the shit you're not gonna hear about in the public. When you go to shit that was happening in the 60s and the 70s, those things were declassified when motherfuckers croaked, when everyone involved was dead. That's when okay, we're gonna talk about this. Otherwise, you weren't hearing about shit at the time. People saying like, oh, this happened, that happened, blah blah blah. You'd be like, yeah, shut up, because people don't want to hear it, because they're thinking, oh, it's just it's just a conspiracy theory. Up until obviously those things get declassified. Same thing with the chariots, man, with the so-called UFOs, UAPs. Those things were being spoken about like that, like they were fantasy. But in what happened now? Now everyone's discussing it. Now the Pentagon's being like, yeah, we got bottomless video evidences. Okay, Ray clarified that by infrastructure he meant everything from water treatment facilities and energy grids to transportation and IT. And if it does make you want to check that your pantry is stocked and that the water filter and generator are all in working order, nothing will. A game of both sides can play. Of course, in war of any sort, the implication is that both sides are involved in a conflict, actually. But yeah, that's them thingy. Oh, Rumors of War. That's the title I missed. Rumors of Wars. Because obviously, Matthew 24 comes to mind with that. But what was it? Okay, the wider war is here. So what does it say? Taken all together, the warnings from Keys to Butler and Ray, as well as acts of sabotage and arrest of foreign agents, suggest that fears of a wider war resulting from Russia's continuing invasion of Ukraine may miss the point. The war could already be here. People looking for tanks and troops are overlooking cyber intrusions, arson, bombings, and other low-level mayhem. And yeah, that's been what it is. The thing with like World War One started with an assassination. World War Two started with an invasion, but now we're in you know the information age. These things is it's like you know you ain't got to sneak an agent in. You ain't gonna sneak James Bond in. You know to go and sneak his way into some facility to get some plans to you know to basically get you know gain information gain. Now they'll be you know they'll have hackers, they'll do breaches, they might you know try and flip someone. There's you know the way things work now is different from expectation, which is why and the thing is this can happen you know completely off the grid, because with what's it called, with the way news is reported now, if there was you know some random American soldier found, you know, or if there was like a lone agent off doing things, that can easily get reported. But then with what do you call it, with like how cyber warfare works, you might not even know, you know. But Russia and China, or China, whoever, the US could have had some super successful attack where they took out their infrastructure. They you know they set a bunch of shit up, and then you wouldn't even know. You know your phone network might just go down for a few hours. You think, oh, that's kind of odd, and then it's back up. Or you know you could you know electricity could cut out in like one region or whatever. Or not even that, like information could just get leaked. There's a bunch of like hacks of like consumer things where like a bunch of data gets out. Those things could be you know part of it, but people would just kind of look at those things and expect they're just part of normalcy. But you know it's evident you know we're in the midst. Because what does it say? Russia is definitely a war of the West. Alexander Daliluk of the Royal United Services Institute, a British defense and security think tank, told NBC News earlier this week. Russian officials seem to embrace that understanding, with Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov commenting in March that the invasion in Ukraine, originally referred to by euphemism special military operation, is now more serious. It's become a war for us as the collective West more and more directly increases its level of involvement in the conflict. Fortunately, a shadow war of the sort around us is less destructive than open military conflict, especially when the hostilities involve nuclear armed powers. It's better that spies hack the email accounts of government officials, as happened in the case of a Russian cyber attack on Germany's ruling Social Democrats, than that cities burn, but civilians must live with the consequences of combatants attempting to do each other harm, particularly when the harm is to infrastructure on which regular people rely. Yeah, so the you know, it's clearly in the midst already. Like it's evident that this has been going down for a hot minute. Because I read this, what does it say? Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So yeah, wars and rumours of wars. That's a big part. That's a big indicator. That lets you know what's going down. Wars and rumours of wars. And that's all of what this conflict really this conflict between the Russia and the US primarily, but also the allies, is wars and rumors of wars. That's what that's the standard relationship now. Is you're having people getting arrested on both sides. You're saying, oh, this so-called journalist, people in Russia getting grabbed up saying, this journalist is is agent. People in the UK getting grabbed up saying, okay, yeah, they were scheming, they were conspiring to put X, Y, Z together. That back and forth is already going down. It's all rumors of wars, which, lets us know that we're in the midst. But like I said, the end's not yet. Because like you mentioned it, he said it's what, nuclear powers. But that's going to be how it, how it climaxes, how it ends with those missiles, being let rip. But there's going to be a lot before. We're going to have the rumors of wars. We're going to have, the time of Jacob's trouble. It's going to get raw. It's going to get aggy, man. Have people out here, destitute, demolished, destroyed. And the whole world tried immensely. Because why that Kuragma, man, that MOTB, that's gonna be pushed out as well. Because what does it say? 2nd Esdras 9, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that there is a very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, it's the time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Because yeah, like I said, part of the signs passed. We've seen part of the signs pass. We've had them earthquakes, uproars of the people. Even now, those uproars of the people continue. It's now a big portion of that uproars of the people is about what's going down in the state of Israel, between those so-called Palestinians and the state of Israel. That's a big issue. People are getting an uproar about. People are going around tearing shit down, doing big massive marches and protests. Because why? That's a big focal point. So it's all signs to let you know we're in that time, man. We're in the midst. Because what does it say? For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And yeah, all that's made has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. We're basically now seeing everything come to fruition, which is what? The end. Because what does it say? All that's made has a beginning and an end. And this is, the role of Esau Edom, man, a so-called white man. His end is what? Satan being divided against himself. It's one bulk of Esau against another bulk of Esau, and then other nations getting thrown in. Which, as I said, how can his kingdom stand? But yeah, Isaiah 13:17, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So yeah, the Lord said, what will stir up the Medes, man? They're being used for a purpose. You had the ancient Medes used, and now you've got, the Medes of the modern time, man, those so-called Russians, where money ain't gonna be enough to to fend them off. Goods ain't gonna fend them off. They're gonna have that spirit on them where they're gonna be looking to fuck shit up. And you see videos of what these Russians get up to out in the tundras, man, out in the wilds. They get up to a madness, because they got that different spirit of them, different from over here, in the UK and the US, where they have a different kind of spirit. Them guys have a more fucking raw mindset and kind of just approach in general, because of the life they lead, man. Like one of the leading forms of what you call it, of death for even just how these guys can conduct their lifestyle. These Russian men, is these guys will drink just to live, man. Like it's a given that them men are getting smashed off out of their minds. Because why? Because their life is just at peak for a lot of these men, man. Like the Russian drinking culture. It's funny because the UK itself has like a drinking culture. In the US as well, especially when I think like the US one is more of a party culture, similar in the UK. But in the UK also just has like a lot of people where they'll be in the pub, like the fucking pub, man. Jesus, there'll be men in the fucking pub, from 10:30 a.m. Getting drank all day long until that pub closes at like 10, 11 or some shit. But then these men are getting smashed off their mind drinking bottles of vodka all day long, man, because life gets at peak. So these guys have they have a certain spirit on them, man, and that's what's going to be utilized. It's going to be purposed against Babylon, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yeah, Shalom.